Now, remember when hybrids used to be the next big thing when it comes to car technology? Right now in 2025, there are a lot of hybrid vehicles out in the market right now that, yeah, it can get a little bit confusing sometimes. So right now, we're going to take a look back and see how hybrid technology really works with this one right here, the 2025 Honda HRV RS EHEV. And compared to this one, the Honda HRV V variant with a naturally aspirated engine, and you can find out exactly how a hybrid works with Honda's newest hybrid vehicle. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of things, talking about the drivetrains underneath the Honda HRV, let's stop and appreciate this new mid-cycle refreshed version of Honda's best-selling subcompact crossover SUV. Now, of course, for 2025, they've updated it. It looks a lot more boxy, but with the RS variant, you can actually say goodbye to the turbo one and say hello to an electric motor mated to that naturally aspirated engine. So what we have different right here with the RS variant is, of course, that more aggressive looking grille. It's got some chrome trims right there as opposed to this one, which is all black. You also have an all updated bumper here with a heartbeat logo as opposed to the honeycomb grille that we have in the regular V variant. You also got some sequential turn signals right there that goes along with the LED DRLs and headlamps, and of course, rain sensing wipers. Over here to the side, Honda has streamlined the design of the Honda HRV with both the V and RS variants having the same two-tone 18-inch alloy wheels. You get black plastic cladding all around both of these variants, but with the RS, it's glossy black, giving it a little bit more aggressive stance and appearance overall. You have the same features overall on the side here. It is boxy as what an SUV should. And yes, I absolutely love the hidden rear doors right here, giving it a little bit more of a coupe kind of look. Now it's here in the back where you can get a little bit more distinctive between the two variants, the RS and the V variant. They both have light bars right here in the back, but the RS variants get the smoked look, which looks really amazing, especially looking at it right now. It doesn't have to be nighttime for you to appreciate it, and it just looks very sporty. I haven't even talked about the blue H badge just yet. That's where you know that you get the hybrid variant. So guys, come on. If you don't have the hybrid variant of a Honda, don't go ahead and replace it with this one. Go put the red H badge, not the blue one. Come on. Anyway, you still have the HRV badges on each side. RSEHEV, let everyone know that you are driving the new hotness when it comes to the Honda HRV, the hybrid HRV. So you also have this new updated rear bumper right here, which is different from the V variant, and a power tailgate function. There we go. So overall, the look of the Honda HRV has been further improved for 2025, giving it a lot more boxier appeal, which people are looking for in their subcompact crossover SUVs. So before we talk about Honda's EHEV technology, let's take a look at the inside of both of these variants. All right, so we're inside the Honda HRV, and this is the RS variant. What I love about the RS variant is that it's got black headliners right here, but that's not the only thing different between this and the V variant. For example, you got these special RS seats right here with contrast stitching that continues over to the shift boot right here in the middle. You also have the 7-inch multi-information display where the tachometer should be, giving you all the information that you need for your electrified drive. While the V variant gets a smaller 4-inch information display with a tachometer in the right there on the left side as well. The steering wheel is adjustable for both reach and rake, but what I appreciate most about the Honda HRV is how driver-centric is on the inside. You got good visibility all around, and you've got this huge touchscreen infotainment system with both wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. Another thing that the HRV RS has over the V variant is that it's got some 2 extra speakers right there, notching up the speaker count to 8, and it sounds amazing inside right here. It sounds great on the V variant as well, but here it just takes it up to another level. You got power adjustable seating right here for the driver, and for the RS variant, you've got aluminum pedals, so you definitely feel like you're driving a sportier variant of the Honda HRV. So both the RS and V variants get AC vents right there in the back, 2 USB ports. Both have wireless chargers, but one thing that the RS variant has over the V, you get dual zone automatic climate control. That's thing, I mean, the V still gets automatic climate control, but the RS gets dual zone automatic climate control. All right, now for the fun and maybe a little bit of confusing part, finding out exactly how hybrid technology works, particularly Honda's EHEV technology. And for that, we're going to play a game. All right, so for us to do that, we're going to go ahead and demonstrate to you exactly how hybrids work, what the type of hybrids are. And we got my guy Ash right here. He's going to try to make me look stupid. Okay, so let's get started.
We're going to test if Roy's been paying attention these past few years.
No, I haven't.
Because right now, there are 3 different kinds of hybrid systems available, and we're going to have him assemble them one by one. So for those watching along with us, see if you get it right yourself. So first one, you have to put down a series hybrid. I'll give you the parts you need. You have your electric motor, your ICE engine, your battery pack, and the driven wheels of the car.
All right, so a series hybrid is where you have your electric motor right here powering your driving wheels, and you've got your internal combustion engine working to charge your vehicle, and it works in a series like so. That's why they call it a series hybrid. But of course, there are other electric vehicles or other hybrids available. So show me what else we have.
So first of all, yeah, Roy got that right. So series hybrid is basically how the power goes. Notable here is the ICE never drives the wheels. It always goes through your motor and your battery, which means you get the electric driving experience all the time. The downside, it's not as efficient on the highway.
Yeah, so it's basically an electric vehicle where you got an electric powered car and you've got the internal combustion engine, your regular engine charging up your battery.
Okay, next. And next up, parallel hybrid system. Roy gets the same parts except for the addition of, you get a transmission. Okay, Roy, please arrange.
All right, so basically what a parallel hybrid is, as the name implies, is that you got both the ICE engine and the electric motor working in tandem to move the drive wheel. So you got your transmission right here, because of course it uses the ICE engine. I'm not sure where it goes right here, but basically what happens is that the transmission selects from which power source is it going to get to move the drive wheels forward, either from the electric motor or the ICE engine. And at the same time, it also charges this particular thing here. The ICE engine charges the battery to charge up the to move the electric motor and then move the wheels right here. You definitely need this part right here, the transmission, so that you can go ahead and select which one of these 2 power sources to use, whether one of each or at the same time to work it forward.
Let's put down how that works. So the engine goes through the transmission, which goes to the wheels, which is assisted by the motor, and the battery gets charged every now and then. We can put it up here instead. Here. So basically, Roy got it right. But one thing to note with parallel systems, this is kind of where those mild hybrids you hear about come in. So the engine, via the classic transmission, does most of the work, and the motor assists. Basically, they run it at the same time. This one's not really capable of running the wheels on its own for extended periods of time, because usually the trade-off is your battery pack is smaller as well.
So what does this have to do with the Honda HRV EHEV?
Okay, here's the next question. Is the EHEV a series or a parallel?
So here's what makes the Honda HRV, EHEV, and EHEV in general such a special system. It utilizes the best of both worlds from both a parallel and a series hybrid to make sure that you've got a unified experience when you drive. So I knew that Ash was going to stump me, because EHEV is actually a new system that Honda utilizes to improve on this system. So we're going to build a parallel series hybrid system right here, so you can go ahead and experience and know exactly how it works.
Okay.
So what happens with a series parallel type of engine? I have no idea. What's the good thing about Honda HRV, EHEV? It just works.
All right, so I think Roy's giving up on his final point, so let's do it for him. All right, let's get it out of the way. So we start with your ICE, just like everything else. Here are your driven wheels. Here's your electric motor. Here's your battery pack. And the difference is where your transmission once was, you take it out. This way, your ICE charges your battery and motor to drive the wheels. So let's say it goes through here, like that. But the main difference from a parallel or a series is the engine can directly drive your wheels through a clutch mechanism. So let's put down the guidelines so you can visualize the power. You can say 90% of the time you run solely from the motor's propulsion to the wheels, which is charged by the ICE, like a series. It works like a series. That's
But
why if you look at it here, you basically have the series drivetrain. But during highway driving, when series aren't as efficient, imagine you get your engine power, it turns to battery power, which goes to the motor, which goes to your wheels.
Right.
That's how many steps.
hey, okay.
But with an EHEV, you can skip all these steps and go from your engine straight to your wheels.
So you basically get the best of both worlds in this type of situation. So if you're driving within the city, in order to save on fuel, you can just go ahead and use the electric motor. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then on the highway during highway cruising, where an ICE engine is at its most efficient, you can use the ICE engine. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Oh,
And there's also a reason we didn't use a transmission here, because it doesn't actually have one.
all right.
Basically, you have the equivalent of a 7th or 8th gear bolted directly to your wheels from the engine.
Oh, it drives it directly. Okay.
So for max efficiency all the time.
Now I know.
Yeah. And since you mostly drive it through the motor, you have that pleasant EV driving experience.
If you're wondering why manufacturers haven't done this from the very beginning, the reason is that this thing's hard. This thing's pretty complicated, but with Honda's EHEV technology, they were able to find a way to make it as easy, as seamless for you to start up your vehicle, and you're good to go. Speaking of go, let's test out the Honda HRV with the EHEV out on the road right now. So right now we're behind the wheel of the Honda HRV EHEV. Under the hood, you've got a 1.5-liter naturally aspirated engine made into an electric motor, which comprises the EHEV system. Now, as we discussed earlier with Ash and I mentioned that this is a parallel, or should they say a series parallel hybrid. So it combines the best of both worlds when it comes to both types of hybrid systems. Now, if you've noticed, as soon as we started this earlier, it started on EV mode. That's what the default setting is when you start this up. It's on EV mode, so it's quiet. If you're trying to sneak out of the house early in the morning, yes, you can go ahead and start this up, no problems. It's biased more towards using the EV or the electric vehicle motor right here. And as you can see, we're on a stop, we're in a stoplight, and it's turned the engine off because it's utilizing all of the battery power to keep yourself comfortable. Air conditioning is on, and it is on the ready to start and move forward. As you know, electric vehicles do have this tendency to be quiet and to have instantaneous torque. And that's what this does actually. It utilizes that engine, it utilizes that motor to lunge itself forward. Now, let me give you a situation. Let's say you're going on an uphill climb, going up to Baguio, or you just, stepping on the accelerator pedal real hard to get more performance. What happens then? The EHEV technology in the Honda HRV actually utilizes and pumps up that internal combustion engine, but not to drive the wheels forward just yet. No, it uses that engine to give you more power to that battery so that you still get the same particular instantaneous torque from the electric motor right here at all times. So you might actually hear the engine start up, but it's not actually driving the vehicle forward. It's just adding more amps, more voltages to that to that electric motor, so you can go ahead and drive forward. And who else understands this kind of technology than Honda? Honda themselves have perfected this with their internal combustion engines, with their VTEC. I like to think that this is VTEC for hybrids or electric vehicles. And it's pretty smart. So what does that mean? That means more fun, more enjoyment, more you're more in tune to your drive when you're driving around in an EHEV vehicle such as this one. So unlike other hybrid electric vehicles out there, the difference between the EHEV technology is that it changes over, of course, to the naturally aspirated engine or the ICE engine only when it detects that you're already at cruising speeds. Let's say you're cruising at around 80 to 90 kilometers per hour, and it detects that you're doing that in a in a sustained manner. It then switches over to the ICE, powering the car forward because during cruising speeds, that's where the ICE engine actually attains its most efficient drive. So it still is a hybrid. It still is definitely a hybrid engine. So well, the difference between EHEV technology with regular hybrid systems is that the transition or the switch over to the ICE or internal combustion engine doesn't really happen that often. I mean, it doesn't switch over back to the EV mode and then back to the hybrid mode and then back to the ICE mode. It doesn't really jump in and out of that abruptly or just willy-nilly. Honda knows what particular mode is best for a particular situation, and it definitely shows here. But don't worry, if you think that you can actually feel that switch, that transition, or that switch over, you can barely even feel it on the inside. And then at cruising speeds, of course, what happens is that if you're using the internal combustion engine, it doesn't even have to charge up the battery anymore. It goes directly to the wheels and runs as efficiently as possible. But the battery is still being charged thanks to these regen paddles right here behind the steering wheel, which you can actually control how strong the regen is right here. So this regen is actually F1 technology. It uses kinetic energy and stores it back to the battery. This thing is so smart. All right, so I know what you guys are asking. How is the fuel economy in the Honda HRV EHEV? Well, let me give you a bit of a background right here. We have the V variant right there, and we have both of these cars in sport mode. We weren't trying to be economical at all. The V variant with a 1.5-liter naturally aspirated engine did a very well and very respectable 16 kilometers per liter. And that's awesome. That's phenomenal in itself. But guess what the RS was able to achieve? Guess what? 20.1 kilometers per liter. 20.1 kilometers per liter in a car, in a crossover SUV that can perform as well as this one. I mean, have you ever imagined a time where you can have this much fun in a crossover SUV and still get the most miles that you can get out of a single tank? I know I haven't. And of course, you can rest assured that you are safe, you and your family are safe in the Honda HRV RS because this has Honda Sensing. Honda Sensing is Honda's suite of active and passive safety features that work in tandem to make sure that you have a safe enough drive. So you got some active features right here like lane keep assist, lane departure warning, forward collision mitigation system. You even have adaptive cruise control with low speed follow. You got lead car departure notification. What that is that if you're in a stoplight and doing a couple of things, probably being busy, enjoying the view of your Honda HRV, it's going to alert you when the cars actually move forward already. So how many times have you been embarrassed without that feature? Even has lane watch, which is basically a camera right there on your blind spot, right side there, the side mirror, to make sure that you're not hitting any wild camotes on the road, and even a great looking backup camera. Sweet. And now the question is, how much do you think all this is going to cost you? Well, Honda Philippines is offering the Honda HRV RS EHEV at a starting price of 1,799,000 pesos, which, if you ask me, is quite a steal, especially for all this tech that you have inside, the features, the driving dynamics, and of course, that amazing EHEV technology. That certainly is a game changer. Thanks so much to Honda Philippines for sponsoring this video. We definitely enjoyed our time behind the wheel of the Honda HRV RS EHEV. So much that we're not even stopping right now for the to end this video. We're having so much fun, guys, and we're really not losing out on a lot of fuel. But hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like the video, leave us a like, drop a comment, and tell us what you think about EHEV technology, hybrids, and EVs in general. And hit that notification icon so you wouldn't miss any of our videos. It's been Roy Robles, Zigwheels.Ph, behind the wheel of the Honda HRV. I'll see you guys next time.